everyone, I'm Sarah and this is PetaPixel, and today we're taking a look at the brand new Google Pixel 10 Pro. So I've been shooting around with this for the past hour and a half or so. We've been walking around the High Line. I'll just go ahead and walk you through all the features of what's new and how it works. So generally speaking, camera-wise, all of the specs are going to be the same. A lot of the improvements for this new Pixel 10 Pro are going to be in software. With all of the new Google Pixel 10s, we have the base 10 model, we have the base 10 Pro model, and then we also have the base 10 Pro XL, which is actually what I have here. Across the board for all of the Google Pixel 10s are a new upgraded Tensor G5 chip, which is what enables some of the AI features like ProRes zoom. One of the biggest improvements to the base 10 model as opposed to the base 9 is actually a third lens. So for the base 10 model, we're actually getting a new 5x telephoto lens with 10x optical quality. And in terms of the Pro line, we actually have an improved optical image stabilization for the main camera. Most of the improvements and new features that we'll walk you through are going to be software improvements as opposed to hardware. All right, now let's go and film some of the actual demos.
A bit of a disclaimer here, this was the first time I've ever really used a Google Pixel phone, but I was able to spend a few hours with the Google Pixel team here in New York for them to walk me through it and show me all of the new features. The first thing I want to talk about is called Camera Coach, which is a new AI feature where you take an initial photo of the scene you're looking at, the Google Pixel will do some thinking, and then it'll actually show you some photo ideas for the actual scene that you're in front of. Once you look through the ideas and decide what kind of photo you want to take, the Pixel will actually walk you through a step-by-step process to guide you to take that photo. The AI model here is being trained on basic photography principles like rule of thirds and leading lines and so forth. So obviously, as a photographer myself, this feature isn't necessarily meant for someone like me, but I think it would be extremely cool and helpful for someone like my parents or my non-photography friends to use in order to take better photos in an everyday setting. A random person ended up walking straight through my photo as I took it, so I used this as an opportunity to test out their new conversational editing feature where I asked AI in natural language to take the man walking out of the photo, and despite there being two men in the photo who were walking, it actually removed the correct man that I was talking about. Up next, we have an improved portrait mode camera that can actually go up to 50 megapixels with both a 1x and a 2x zoom to capture tighter portraits or wider environmental portraits. And they've also improved their depth model to make these portraits look really nice, as if they were taken on a nice DSLR camera with a nice wide aperture. Another feature that is not necessarily new but has been improved is the Add Me feature, where you can take a photo with your friends, swap with them, and then insert yourself into the first photo. I was curious and wanted to see whether the phone would correctly layer our arms behind each other for this photo, which would have been pretty complex if they got it right, but it actually ended up getting my arm correctly wrapped around Michael next to me, but his arm did end up in front of my face. So I bet it actually would have worked if there was only one arm as opposed to two, but I didn't get a chance to test that out and we did some other poses.
Cute!
Next up, we have a cool one called Auto Best Take, where Pixel can automatically find and combine similar photos into one where everyone looks their best. So here we took a selfie where Michael initially looked away, and then where Kinsey had her eyes closed, and then Pixel automatically created a third composite image where everyone is smiling and looking at the camera from the other frames that were captured. It almost works kind of like a pre-shutter function, where the phone is capturing 150 frames from this one button press, and it combines the best take from each of those. This feature doesn't necessarily seem helpful in a selfie scenario when there's only a few people to coordinate, but in a larger group photo where people are always caught blinking and looking in different directions, this would be a really great feature to have at your disposal, and it's automatically on when you take any photos of people. And then lastly, another big improvement we have from the Pixel 9 Pro is an extension of the 30x Super Res zoom feature, where the Pixel 10 Pro now has up to 100x ProRes zoom for photos, which uses the power of AI to enhance and bring back detail to your photos once you get past that initial 30x zoom. So that pretty much covers most of the new and most interesting features coming up on the Google Pixel 10 Pro that I was able to test out on this short little preview session, but definitely stay tuned for a proper full review to come later from our very own Chris Nichols, and also be sure to check out this week's podcast where we sit down with the Google Pixel team to chat more about the phone as well. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next time.